Hi, hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cody the Writer, and today we are finally doing the thing that I have been talking about, that I've been wanting to do in October. Yes, we are finally going to start brainstorming, plotting, etc. project terms and conditions. Who's excited? I'm excited, very excited. Now, so this past weekend, I went to Nashville to celebrate one of my best friend's birthdays. We got there on Friday. We came back home on Sunday. So the whole weekend, that was gone. Today's Tuesday, October 8th. Yesterday was my first, normal day. I went to work as I do, and then I had my first meeting with
It really kind of up with all.
My phone is doing ghost things, which is kind of suspicious because this story is a ghost story. So that's interesting. Yesterday was spent just honestly vibing at the house. I did have my very first meeting with my critique partners, Alyssa and Sylvia, and I got to share some feedback on Alyssa's pages that she sent over, and Alyssa and Sylvia shared some feedback on my pages. Overall, it seemed pretty positive, which I'm very thankful for. They were just, obviously there were a couple things that they were talking about, like, to change and things that might help improve the story. But overall, I got a very positive vibe from the experience last night, which is good because that means that they're enjoying the story. I asked them some questions like, who their favorite characters were. They're loving the characters that I want them to love, and they're not liking the characters that I don't want them to like, so that's good. So basically, Alyssa, Sylvia, and Becca will all have read this full story, this full draft 3, by the end of October. So that's very fun, very exciting, because that way I'll have all of my notes ready to go. They'll be sitting there waiting for me in December whenever I am done trying to fast draft this current story. Now let's talk about it. This story that you guys have been following was pretty much fully outlined before I started my channel, so you haven't seen my plotting process. And you know what? I don't know my plotting process because I'm trying to think like really what I did with Project GWC, and really I just, I feel like I did what everybody else does. I started with the twist, which I already know for this story. I've already started a 4-page Google Doc for project terms and conditions, and so we've already got some good notes started there, but I feel like that's really all I did. I didn't have like a notebook or anything where I broke down characters and stuff like that. I just, I had all of those things, but they were all just kind of like shoved into my Scrivener file, into like the different little tabs. Like I had like a character tab, a setting tab, but it was very disorganized, very disjointed, and it was not it, sis. So we're gonna try to be more organized this go around because we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot doing that first book, and we want to make our lives easier by learning from the mistakes we made in the last book. We're at Barnes & Noble. We're about to go inside, and I have a checklist of things that I want to accomplish. The first of those, I want to mess around with Notion some because I've used Milanote before, but I've never really used Notion. And Becca Tobar has a template that she shared on her channel, and I want to use that to kind of like storyboard for this new project. So we're going to mess around with Notion while we're in there. And while we're in there, I want to make a drafting checklist, which is basically going to be all of the things that I want to accomplish this month before I actually start drafting in November. I want to use the checklist feature to make sure that I'm, getting my character profiles, that I'm getting my setting, that I know my timeline. Like, do I know what days each of these events or scenes happens on? And so I really want to nail down all of that before I start drafting. The next thing on my list is I want to start working through some of the notes that I've already taken. I have 4 pages of a Google Doc just sitting there ready to go for me to do something with it. So I'm going to start working through that and kind of like putting that into the Notion as I set it up. I think we're going to have a little Pinterest sesh as a little bonus because I love me a storyboard, and I want to do the little hack where you make your Scrivener file look like basically the storyboard for the book that you're writing. I want to do that. I don't know how to do that. I tried a YouTube tutorial once. It didn't work. So hopefully Becca is going to be able to FaceTime me later and tell me how to do that. And the last thing that I want to do is set up my new Scrivener document and make it look pretty, like I just said. That is what we're gonna do. We're gonna hang out in this bookshop for a little while, get some coffee, and then whenever we get back to the house, I'll kind of show you what we accomplished during this little fun coffee writing brainstorming sesh. And yeah, I'll check back in with you guys whenever I am back home. All right, hello, we are checking in. We are back home, and as you can tell by the very dim lighting in here, some time has elapsed. It is currently 6:30 p.m., so we were basically at the Barnes & Noble we were there for like 3 hours, and then I went and picked up some food, some dinner, and then after I left there, then I had to drive home, so that was probably like 45 minutes to an hour of driving, but all that to say, we had a great time at the Barnes & Noble. I got pretty much everything except for one thing on my checklist done. I got everything done except for, let me look at my list. Yeah, I was able to make my drafting checklist on Notion. I was able to mess around with Notion, and thank God for that template that Becca made, because at first I was totally lost. I had my Pinterest session. I've never used Pinterest before, so it was a little bit of a learning curve. I never really understood like how you could spend 4 hours just looking at, random pictures and inspiration and things like that. Now that I've had my first Pinterest session, I get it. I really enjoy the little graphic that I made for my project inspiration. I'll either share it on the screen here, or I will show you later whenever I show you my Notion. The only thing left on this list to do is to start working through the notes that I've already taken. And that's that Google Doc full of it's like 4 pages of notes. Basically what I want to do for at least the rest of this vlog is to get all of the information that I have there and put it somewhere in the Notion so everything's in one place. One mistake that I made with this last book was I did not have everything in one place. I had some things on a Milanote, I had some things in a journal, I had some things in like Microsoft OneNote, I had things, it was all over the place. It was ridiculous. I had some things in my phone notes, like everywhere. So my one big goal for this project is to make sure that literally anything and everything is consolidated into one place. That way I only have to open one tab. If I need to reference anything back while I'm drafting, it's all there. One tab, all the information. That's the goal for this go round. So I'm going to eat this, maybe watch a little bit of TV, and then I am going to move us into the office area to transfer all of our stuff in Google Docs over to our Notion. All right, friends, we are officially done with everything that I wanted to do on my list for today. I am so excited about this story and just how much easier the story is coming to me than the last one did. For whatever reason, the ghostwriters felt like I was like pulling teeth at times to try to figure out connections and, like weaving in these different incidents. But this story in particular, sorry, my dog just got the zoomies. This story in particular, everything just feels like it's coming to me a lot more naturally, which I'm really excited about. And hopefully that is, a good omen for what is to come with this story. I'm just hoping that now that, the outlining feels easier, that eventually the drafting and the editing will eventually feel, Do you hear that? Yeah. Late night zoomies. Are you done? Thank you all so much for coming along with me for my very first day of plotting Project Terms and Conditions. Oh, y'all, I'm feeling really good about this story, and I'm so excited to share it with you. And it's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait to do our first live writing stream where I'm drafting this story. Oh, it's gonna be a great time. And I can't wait to share more with you guys about this story as I know more, because right now I don't know a whole lot, but I do know some things. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up down below. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We're going to be posting a lot more writing content. You're going to be hearing a lot more about my plotting and outlining process as we go forward with Project Terms and Conditions. So what are you waiting for? It's right there. Just click it. just click it. Leave me a comment down below to let me know how your Plot-Tober is going thus far, and let me know if you would want me to do like a tour of my Notion. Obviously, by the time this video goes live and all that stuff, I will have added, hopefully, a good bit more material into the actual Notion document. So I would love to kind of give you a tour of it, kind of show you how I'm organizing all of my thoughts, and just, you know, give you a look into what works for me so that maybe you could try it out, because it could work for you too. You never know. With all that out of the way, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!